Hi, everyone. My name is Polly Dimmock. I've marched at Incognito in 2015 and 2016 on bass drum. I marched at Gold on cymbals in 2017, Vessel Indoor in 2018 and 2019, Pacific Crest in 2018, Vanguard in 2019, and RCC for 2020. And for most of those seasons, I was on cymbals. I'm excited to be here with Russell Tanakaya for Inside the Shot.
Hi, everyone. It's Russ Tanakaya for Inside the Shot, coming to you from sunny Southern California today. I'm really excited to bring you the episode this week. We have as our guest a history-making young lady from Southern California, Polly Dimmock. I met her several years ago when she made the Pacific Crest cymbal line. And I think I've taken pictures of her through 3 different winter drumline campaigns now. And one of the thrills of my drum corps career was when I saw her on the field at Stanford a couple of years ago when nobody knew she was going to be there. More about that a little bit later. So let's start going inside the shot and take a look at picture number 1. Yeah, I remember this shot. I think this is when Polly was in the winter drumline Vessel. And this was kind of a weird show as I remember it. All kinds of funny chords everywhere and everything. So I hope Polly will tell us all about that.
Yeah, so in this photo, I'm here with my good friend Elisa. She went on to march at Broken City, so it was really cool to see both of us go our separate ways, but we have successful marching careers. I like this photo because we both have very different facial expressions, but we're both having that performing intensity here. Russ mentioned the chords that we had. I really liked the show concept. The idea was sort of memories of people. And so we had the chords wrapped around us as part of the costume. And then throughout the show, we would plug them in to an operator board and samples would play through the speakers of recordings of voices talking about people or any other narration that played into the story. And at the end of the show, you had all of the chords plugged into the prop and then laid out on the floor, which looked pretty interesting.
I always thought you guys were going to get all tangled up in that stuff. It was everywhere.
There was there was a lot of work to be done in rehearsal to make sure that they fit properly, that you were able to get it undone. Definitely a lot of room for error there, but I think everyone managed to be successful with it by showtime for sure.
Good. Well, let's go inside shot number 2. My favorite shot of this set because it's when you were on the Pacific Crest cymbal line. And I remember that year. That was a great year with really 4 great cymbal players. And I think this is a shot from Military Park, the warm-up zone for DCI's World Championship Week. And for those of you that travel there often, you know that the corps warm up in a park several blocks from the stadium, and then they get a police escort into the stadium where they're performing that night in competition. So why don't you tell us about that year, that show and that group?
I really like this shot too. It's nice how you can see all 4 of us, but it's at an interesting angle. You have a series of shots from this warm-up lot in Military Park, and the lighting is just right, and we're all tan. And it's there's some great drum corps photos here. That show was La La Land theme. The percussion played a significant amount, which I always enjoy. And it was a really good line to be on. Learning from Pablo is great. Having Amy as another female cymbal player to march with. Andrew was a very well-established performer. And it was great to march with Ron again after we were together at Vessel. So that was a very close line, and it was exciting to be in a world-class drum corps on cymbals. And I think we had a great season. It was really, really fun.
That was a great cymbal line. Well, let's take a look at shot number 3.
These props are so bad.
That show, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on there. I've never seen so much hardware on a stadium floor before in my life. You were hanging upside down, running up on those steps. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, so that show was called Trimble, and each of the props were sort of like fingers, and we oriented them at one point in the snare break, and as like two hands, we pulled the props in to sort of close around them. It was difficult to maybe understand what the props were, but we did have a lot of uses for them. There were some aerial silks that we used as a pop of color or to hang upside down, like you said. But we also tilted them down for that shot. This was the cymbal feature. We practiced it a lot because it was very difficult. We had a little bit of choreography, and then we ran up and jumped up on top of those props. I fell a lot in practice that season. I've got some good scars on my elbows and stuff. But it was a very memorable year, and I think those props got passed on. So good luck to whoever has them now.
Yeah, I was always worried that somebody was going to fall off of there, but of all the competitions I saw, you never did. It was
we were good in shows, but rehearsals, we're not perfect.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go inside the next shot. Yes, the shock of my life. I thought I saw you at the 2019 Pacific Crest auditions with your twin brother, and then I didn't see you at practice, and so I thought you decided to set out the year. And I remember asking cymbal players around, "Where's Polly?" And nobody said anything. So it was a deep, dark secret to everyone in the world, including me. And then I saw you on the field with Santa Clara. What an incredible thing.
Yeah, I had planned on going back to Pacific Crest that summer, but changed my mind and thought about trying to finish school early and do some internships. I ended up filling a spot for Vanguard, and with the amount of time that I had to join and it being kind of a last minute thing, we didn't really announce it. So it was a surprise to everyone at that first show in Clovis. Sorry, Russ, I didn't tell you, but I'm glad I gave you a big surprise. This photo was shared by Girls March, who I love. They shared it, and they were very excited to see that Vanguard finally had another female on the cymbal line. It had been about 15 years. So it was really, really nice to be able to have that opportunity to be a role model and someone to look for younger girls to look up to. There's definitely a lot of pressure in like the Vanguard cymbal line is so highly renowned, and there's a lot of pressure to live up to their name. But with that spotlight, it's great for the younger girls to be able to see.
No, it certainly was. I have to tell you, I knew nothing about that. And one of my favorite shows at DCI is the first week of the season in Stanford. And they have this incredible event for the alumni. And I don't know how I got it, but I had tickets to it. And I went to this barbecue lunch in the Stanford Quad, this gorgeous campus. And Santa Clara and the Blue Devils play their shows in a standstill concert while we're eating lunch. And I remember as Santa Clara came out, I had finagled my way to the front of the crowd, and I had my camera sticking out there. And I put my camera down. I thought, wait a minute, that's Polly. And I had to run back and ask, but is that Polly, or is there another woman that looks like her? It was really a thrill to see you out there in such a storied cymbal line. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I had forgotten about that. That was a great day to be able to see you at Stanford.
Yeah, it really was. Well, thank you so much for being our guest this week on Inside the Shot. As I said to begin with, it's appropriate for Women's History Month to have Polly as our guest this week because she truly is making history in DCI cymbal lines, because I don't think we've mentioned it, and I know you wouldn't, but I know that you were named the section leader for arguably the best cymbal section in the country. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you for having me. It was great to be here on Inside the Shot. Russ, it's been so nice knowing you since I marched at Pacific Crest. You and your wife, Beth, are so, so sweet. And it's always been nice to have your support and all these photos to look back on all the marching seasons and have the memories attached to them. So thank you very much.